Some homes are selling in days, and other homes are sitting for weeks. Same market, same county. So what's actually happening? So if your home is sitting or you're planning on selling and you're worried that it might sit, the answer usually isn't that the market is broken. It's usually one of a few specific things that are fixable. If you want my free seller reality checklist, the exact checklist that I use to spot why a home will sit before it hits the market, text the word check to 636-251-3614, and I'll send it to you. No pressure, just clarity. If you're a homeowner and you're watching homes sit right now, I need you to hear one thing clearly. A home sitting is not automatically a sign that the whole market is falling apart. That's what the internet wants you to believe. But in St. Charles County, and honestly in most markets like ours, what's happening is more specific. Some homes are selling quickly, other homes are sitting. And when two things happen at the same time, it usually means the market isn't dead. It means the market is selective. Selective markets are markets where strategy matters again. In the frenzy years, you could list almost anything at any price and still get a line of buyers because buyers were scared. They were competing. They were trying to win. In 2026, the fear flipped. Now buyers are scared of making the wrong decision. They're scared of overpaying. They're scared of buying something that they'll regret. So what do? They hesitate. They compare. They walk away from homes that feel like a risk. That's not bad. That's absolutely normal. And it just means that sellers can't run a 2021 playbook in a 2026 market and expect the same results. Here's what I see a lot. A home sits and everybody wants a simple explanation. So the explanation becomes, it's the market. That's convenient because it makes it nobody's fault. But the truth is, if similar homes in the area are still selling, then the market isn't the only factor. The market is the environment, your price, your condition, your presentation, and your strategy are what determine whether you win in this environment. In a selective market, buyers reward homes that feel safe. They punish homes that feel uncertain. And uncertainty can come from a lot of different places. Let's talk about the biggest one because I'm not going to dance around it. The number one reason homes sit is overpricing. Not a little ambitious, not we're testing the waters, simply overpricing. Here's what's changed. In the frenzy years, the markets would forgive overpricing because the buyer pool was huge and buyers were emotional. In 2026, buyers are more disciplined. They're also better informed. They have alerts. They have comparison tools. They know what else is available. So when you overprice, you're not starting high. You're telling buyers the seller is unrealistic. And once a buyer believes that, they assume negotiations will be painful. They assume inspections will be a fight. They assume that the seller won't concede. So they skip it. Even if they like the house, and that's the part that sellers don't understand. Buyers don't just buy the house, they buy the feeling that the deal will go smoothly. Overpricing makes the deal feel like a battle. Here's the simple truth. Your strongest demand is in the first 2 weeks. That's when your listing is fresh. That's when it hits the most eyeballs. That's when people have the most urgency to see it because it's new. If you miss those first 2 weeks because you're overpriced, the listing becomes stale. And now you're in a different category. Now buyers assume that there's something wrong with your house. They don't say it out loud, but they think it. Why is this still available? And once that question enters the room, the energy changes. That's when price reductions start happening. And here's what most sellers don't realize. The first reduction barely brings buyers that you want. It usually brings bargain hunters. So the better move isn't reduce later. The better move is price correctly from day one. The second biggest reason homes sit is condition. And condition doesn't always mean the house is falling apart. Sometimes it's simple. Sometimes it's paint. Sometimes it's the smell. Sometimes it's clutter. Sometimes it's dated finishes that make the home feel like work. And buyers in 2026, they're tired. A lot of buyers don't want a project. So when you walk into a home and feel like you're going to spend the first year fixing it, the home becomes less attractive, even if it's technically a good house. And here's the brutal truth. Buyers don't calculate condition like contractors. They calculate it like human beings. They walk in and they think, this feels like work, and then they leave. Let me give you a few small things that matter more than people want to admit. Smell, that matters. Pet smell, smoke, strong cooking odor, musty basements. Lighting matters. If a home is dark, it feels smaller and older. Photos matter. If your photos don't show the home well, buyers won't schedule. Because most buyers decide emotionally before they ever step foot inside your house. Layout matters. If a home feels chopped up or cramped, it turns people off quickly. And cleanliness, not clean enough, clean. Because a dirty home makes buyers assume maintenance has been ignored. They might be wrong, but that's what they assume. And in a selective market, they don't hang around to find out. Now let's talk about presentation, because a lot of agents love to say marketing like it's some type of magical word. Marketing doesn't fix a broken product. It amplifies it. If the home is overpriced or poorly presented, better marketing just brings more people to reject it. That's not a win. In 2026, presentation means, are the photos actually good? Is the home staged or at least decluttered and bright? Is the listing description honest and appealing? Are showings easy? Are the best features highlighted? And are we positioning the home against its real competition? Because sellers don't compete against the entire market. You compete against homes in your price range, in your area, with similar features. If those homes look better, feel better, or seem like less of a risk, your home will sit. Here's what's changed that most sellers don't feel yet. Buyers are no longer buying in a scarcity mindset. They're buying in a cautious mindset. Scarcity says, buy now or you'll miss out. Caution says, wait because something better might come. So your home has to create a reason to act. That reason can be great condition, great pricing, move-in ready feel, or a clear value story. If your listing doesn't clearly answer why this one, buyers don't choose it. They wait. And waiting is easy now because they're not fighting 10 other offers. This one is big. If the frenzy market, sellers got used to not giving anything. No repairs, no concessions, sometimes not even inspections. In 2026, buyers are not doing that. They're bringing inspections back. They're asking for repairs. They're negotiating. So here's the question. If a seller still has a take it or leave it mindset, the home often sits because buyers sense it. They sense rigidity, and rigidity makes buyers nervous. Now, I'm not saying that buyers should give away the farm. I'm saying that sellers need a strategy. Sometimes the smartest move is to preempt objections. Offer a credit, offer a home warranty, fix the obvious things before listing your home, because the goal is not to win the negotiation. The goal is to get the home sold on terms that protect your timeline and your net. If your home is already on the market and it's sitting, here's what I would do. First, I would stop guessing and I would look at the data. How many showings have you had? If you have low showings, that's usually price or photos. If you have a lot of showings but no offers, that's usually conditions, layout, or buyer objections. If you have offers but they're low, that's the market telling you where you are. Second, I would do an honest competition check. Not what you feel like your home is worth. What buyers are choosing instead. Because the market is a voting system. Buyers vote with showings and offers. Third, I would make one strong adjustment, not 5 weak ones. A real price correction, a presentation improvement, or a concession strategy. Small, hesitant changes don't shift buyer behavior. Clear changes do. This is something most sellers don't know exists, but it's real. When a home sits too long, it becomes a virus listing, meaning buyers avoid it because they assume something is wrong. Even if nothing is wrong, that's why timing matters. If your home is sitting, don't wait 6 more weeks and hope. Hope is not a strategy. A home sitting is a message. You can fix it, but you have to respond. A lot of sellers hate feedback. They take it personally. I get it, but feedback is gold. Because feedback is what buyers say when they're not trying to be polite to you. It tells you the real objection, and objections are fixable. Silence isn't. If you're getting no feedback, no offers, and no momentum, you need someone to help you identify the true reason. That's where good representation matters. If you're a veteran or a first responder thinking about selling, you already know something most people don't. Stability matters, peace matters, predictability matters. A home sitting creates stress that most people underestimate. So strategy should be built around clarity, clean presentation, strong first 2 weeks, and realistic pricing. Not ego, not pride, not let's test it, because you're not selling a theory. You're selling a home. And the goal is to move forward without dragging your family through months of uncertainty. If you're thinking about selling in St. Charles County, St. Louis County, and you want to avoid the sit and chase trap, this is exactly where planning matters. Most homes don't sit for mysterious reasons. They sit for predictable reasons. And predictable reasons are fixable. If you want my free seller reality checklist, the checklist that I use to spot what will keep a home from selling before we ever go live, text the word check to 636-251-3614, and I'll send it over. No pressure, just clarity.